Let's pay attention to the torso. The torso can rotate, it can flex, I guess, it can flex forwards and backwards, it can have all kinds of different things. So again, I'd like you to pay attention to the torso as you approach the person, as you interact with the person, and as you leave, and notice if there's any particular patterns that you can start detecting. It won't be identical with everyone because their emotional state will be different on the approach, interaction, and exit, but there'll be certain things that will start coming out. Does that make sense? Approach, interaction, exit. Off you go. Just a quick question. We're going to carry on with the same exercise in a moment. How many of you are noticing the legs just by accident, even though you're actually looking at the torso? Hands up. Good. It's about half of you in the room. Excellent. So those of you who are not noticing the legs, you don't have to make an effort to do it. But as you look at the torso, if you happen to catch, your eye happens to catch a glimpse of the legs and you see the same sort of patterns as before, well, your ability to see things or recognize unconscious signals has just become a little bit richer. Don't try and force it, but if it happens, smile to yourself and know that you're doing the right thing. Make sense? Off you go. Excellent. You enjoying that so far? To make it a little bit more interesting. All right. Exactly the same exercise. If you happen to catch the legs, that's fine. We're going to focus on the torso a little bit more. This time, I want you to randomly, inside your mind, switch between the person that you're is in front of you is someone you really like and someone that you really dislike, right? So the important thing here is that it's the emotional feelings. Now, socially, you're still going to be doing the whole, shaking hands and being polite and so on. But mentally, emotionally, I want you to either like or dislike them as you begin the approach. Decide before you see that person how you're going to feel next. And notice if anything happens differently now as you do the same exercise. Is that okay with you guys? Off you go. Was that interesting? Yeah. Are you seeing a bigger difference now than a moment ago, than in the previous exercise? Yes? It's not big. So it's not a big difference, but people still act friendly, right? Are you seeing more of a difference now, though, than the previous exercise? We did pretty much exactly the same thing. Just very little, okay? Fine. With some people, it'll be more obvious than with others, right? Remember, we're looking for the contrast principle. It's when things change that they tell us what's going on, right? It's not about what's happening in the moment, it's when it changes that it tells you, oh, this is a little different. There's a question up here? So when he thinks about a person who he doesn't like, his smile tends to go away. Yeah? Or sometimes people have a forced smile or something like that. Exactly. We'll come on to the face and those areas a little later. Right now we're still focusing on the torso, the body as a main part, and we'll build up to these other parts as well. But it's a good thing to spot inside yourself, right? Go ahead, Cassie. Right, so Cassie was finding that when she approached someone she didn't like or was thinking she didn't like, the torso starts turning away. It's almost you want to have as little exposure to them as possible, like, hello, nice to meet you over there. Anyone else found that sort of thing happening? Right? It's a very common thing, right? Torso and feet will tell you much more about what a person generally feels than their facial expression as a rule, and actually their words and the tonality. Because these things we have more awareness of, and therefore we tend to control more. Does that make sense to you guys? right? You find this interesting? Is this useful?